Hi, I'm Rosie Fellner. I'm the producer.
Hi, I'm Eva de Dominici. I play Delia.
Hi, I'm Walton Goggins, and I play Sammy.
It's going this way. Okay. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Reeser, and I play Rose.
Lois Smith, and I play Helen.
Hi, and I'm Nadia Connors, and I'm the writer and director of The Uninvited, which is the story about a couple with a young son who are getting ready to have a party when an old lady shows up believing she's returned home. I had two inspirations for the story. The first one was that it was based on a real incident in my life where I'm actually married to Walton, who plays the husband in a meta sort of strange way, although I have to say when he talked about playing the role, he was like, this is not me, right? And I'm like, no, it's not you at all. Anyhow, so I'm jumping ahead. So the inspiration was we were having a party, we had a young son, and an old lady showed up believing she'd return home. And while I had managed to find someone, actually the police, to come and get her after trying to find someone that knew her, but there was no one alive in her phone book for real. And I was so deeply moved by this momentary, brief connection that when I returned to our house, the party had gone on without me. And it was almost like I had drifted into this other world with this person who had lost her memories and her sense of belonging in the world. And it really was twinned with how I was feeling at that moment in my life. I was a mother with a very young child, and I was struggling with being a mother and going back to work and figuring out how to be these two people. And I was disappearing into my own life. And she really moved me in a way that it was a reminder of, obviously, like, the most important thing in life is to belong and to connect. It's to belong to yourself and to connect to the people around you. And when I tried to get the people at the party to feel as much as I felt in this brief connection, when they didn't and they sort of brushed it off, I mean, of course they were interested, but they kind of brushed it off too. And it reminded me of a bigger issue for me, which is like, what is our culture? How are we dealing with the inevitable? And we put death aside and we put elderly people away. And this sort of age-old way of living together has become lost in many ways. And so she was very representative of that for me. And this was a way of dealing with all of these themes in one moment, in one night, from motherhood and selfhood to loneliness, and connection.
There were conversations I was having with Elizabeth where I said, wait a minute. Did I say this in an art? No, I'm just joking. No, how much was it? It's not me. Or is it?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
I'm
not
laughing
me.
only because it's such a, it's a hard question to answer. But truthfully, when I wrote it, I actually wrote the Lucian character as him for me, and then I realized.
I mean, like, let's be honest.
No.
Like, it was both of it.
It was both of it because it was
Yeah.
like split into two.
Yeah.
This is the reality of a 20-year marriage. Like the person that you were dating.
Can I
is
say?
very different than
I
the
love
person that you're married to today. Because you're dealing with parenting and life and jobs and resentments and.
I mean, I can't say. I mean, I think for anyone that's married or just is a partner with a writer, in whatever way, when you read their material, at the end of it, and certainly for this and several of the other things that Nadia's written, it's a lot of it's really painful, and you're alone kind of reading it, and at the end of it, you do have a bit of an existential crisis because it's like, oh, is this me? Is this how my wife feels about it? And yeah. So until you get in there and you start playing. My therapist I have a phone call with my therapist. I'll be right back.
I think if you live with a writer, your life is fodder for them, basically.
I play Rose, and Rose is I was going to say a single mother.
Sorry. She sometimes feels that way.
We're gonna bring that up in therapy.
Feels like
We're
a
bringing this up in therapy,
This is,
okay?
We've talked about it a lot in therapy, actually.
He doesn't listen.
He
though.
doesn't
Right.
listen. We have talked about it a number of times with Daniel. No, but she's alone a lot, and she's married to Sammy, and he's a high-powered agent, assassin, and I'm basically a former failed actress, flailing actress, who's now, I guess, trying to become a life coach.
Yeah.
If you could think of anything sadder, I don't.
I
know
couldn't,
what it
which is why I didn't. Sorry.
Yeah, an actress who can't get a job becoming a life coach is quite. It's precise, and I thought that was really moving. And she's a mother of this small boy, and I have a lot of friends who are moms, and I was really moved by that aspect of the movie of what it is to be a mom, because I don't feel like we see it a lot. I don't know, to see how hard and lonely and frustrating, and I think that's really interesting. But mostly I just wait, what was the question?
Who's your character?
I'm Rose.
I feel the lostness of my character who comes into this story, basically into Rose's story. And maybe what you're saying is that at such a moment, connection is found. And that, of course, is the connection of the stories, which is really what this film is about, I think, how stories are connecting.
Right from the beginning, I thought it was very interesting to see 3 different women actresses in different stages of their lives, and I really think that this movie, it exposes the sexism in the industry, and I think that the 3 of them have something in common. They had to fight it, right? I think that my character is in having her momentum because she's an up-and-coming actress. She is the lead of the movie, and she knows that she's the center of attention, but she kind of like sees herself in Rose in a couple of years, and she doesn't like what she sees, and that is something. No, I don't.
You have more than 2 years.
She was
I'm
making.
joking.
You were being kind and saying seeing Rose in a couple of years, seeing myself as Rose in a couple of years, and
I was
Nadia
joking.
said, "How about 20?"
I was joking.
But I was thinking the same.
Well,
thing.
but I think that.
It was so sweet.
But I think that it's a little bit uncomfortable for Delia because she's gonna play the same character Rose played in the past and in a play, right? But now the director Sammy's throwing a party for is turning it into a movie, and she's gonna play the same character that she used to play, but they're keeping the same male lead, no matter how old he is. And so the question is, why do men have these advantage? Why do men have this advantage, and we just have to accept it, right? I think that was something very interesting right from the beginning.
Yeah, that really was an intense scene when I realized that Pedro is doing the movie of the play that we performed together, and that I'm not doing the movie. And it's just so shocking. And then when he says, well, why did you stop? Why did you stop working? And I was like, I'll kill you. No, it was just, you really nailed that.
You didn't stop. They just stopped hiring.
They stopped calling.
Yeah.
They stopped hiring. Yeah. So thanks for that.
You're so welcome.
Heartbreaking.
Perfectly
Nice.
articulated. Yeah, it's
But
heartbreaking.
it exposes the truth.
Yeah, it sure
Right?
does. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I think setting it in Hollywood was a real choice. It wasn't an automatic thing for me. I thought about setting it in it was always going to be in this sort of socioeconomic, class of neurotic, talky sort of types of people. But I think that it could have been theater, it could have been publishing, could have been art world, it could have been politics. I really thought about it all, but I set it in Hollywood specifically because they have a lot to answer to for like the sort of culture that is perpetuated this obsession with youth and beauty. It is, to me, a film more about Los Angeles and the people that live in the shadow of Hollywood and its expectations and the need to continue to keep up those sorts of appearances. So it's very critical of that. It's not necessarily at all, obviously, a celebration of it, but you're looking at these characters that are also storytellers. And as Lois said, it's very much a film about telling stories and who gets to tell stories. And Rose's character has an audience of one with her child, you know, but it's this primary connection. And she's making a story up from the pictures in the room, you know, and outside at the party at a world that's kind of beyond her reach now because she's become preoccupied not just with labor, which is, I think, a problem when we talk about parenting is like, you know, you pick up and you drop off and you do that. There is this transformative thing where a mother, the way she loves her child, which is so apparent to me in the way Elizabeth as Rose speaks to her child in that room. She's created an entire world for him, and she hasn't created a world for herself. Look at her bedroom. Like these are very small details, but she's got wallpaper up that she's yet to commit to. Like she doesn't belong in her own life. You know, she doesn't know. She knows how to do it for her child, but she doesn't know how to do it for herself. So